Hello, and welcome to Fearfull Wickedness. I am your host, the storyteller. We hope you enjoy tonight's tale. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. In the small village of Blarney, Ireland, there lived a poor man named Kieran. He was a simple farmer, his hands rough from the toil of the fields, his clothes patched and worn from years of wear. Life had always been hard, but Kieran made do, working hard each day to scrape together enough for his meager meals. One cool, early spring afternoon, while walking along a narrow, overgrown path through the forest, Kieran stumbled upon something extraordinary. It looked like a dwelling inside a hollowed-out old tree. It was only large enough for him to put his head inside the opening, but there it was, a leprechaun's burrow. Kieran thought to himself, if I set a trap and catch me a leprechaun, all my troubles will be gone. So he did just that. Kieran put together a trap and placed it just inside the opening. He went to hide, and within minutes he heard a commotion. He had caught something, but he wasn't sure exactly what yet. When Kieran got back to the tree and put his head inside, sure enough, he saw a leprechaun in his trap. A small figure, no taller than a boy, with a bright green suit and a mischievous glint in his eye. The figure had a long red beard and twinkling gold coins in his pockets. Kieran pulled him from the tree. "I've caught you," said Kieran, "and now you owe me 3 wishes." The leprechaun, who was kicking and punching trying to escape, seemed to calm down and accept that he had been caught, and now he had to grant Kieran his 3 wishes. "Fine," said the leprechaun. "What is your first wish? May I ask for anything?" "Yes," said the leprechaun. "Anything your heart desires. Except for me gold. That is the only thing you cannot have." He had heard the stories, but he never thought they were true. He quickly gathered his wits and began to think. "I wish for wealth," Kieran said, his voice trembling. He had always dreamed of a life where he didn't have to worry about food or shelter. The leprechaun's eyes gleamed. "Done," he said with a snap of his fingers. In an instant, Kieran's tattered clothes turned into fine silks, and his pockets were full of money. The leprechaun grinned. "What next?" Kieran, now a little more confident, rubbed his hands together. "I wish for the love of a woman, one who can see no wrong in me and who will never leave." The leprechaun nodded, snapping his fingers once more. Suddenly, Kieran noticed a woman approaching. Long raven hair with beautiful green eyes. She ran to Kieran, throwing her arms around him and covering him with kisses. His heart raced with excitement. He had everything he had ever dreamed of. But as he looked at the leprechaun, something greedy stirred inside him. "What is your final wish?" asked the leprechaun. Kieran stood there in silence, thinking for a moment. "I wish for all of your gold," Kieran demanded, his voice more commanding now. "Me gold," said the leprechaun in a surprised and almost gleeful voice. "Yes, every coin you've ever hidden." "Well, let's see what we can do about that," said the leprechaun, his voice now low and almost demonic sounding. The leprechaun's face darkened. His eyes, once filled with mischief, now burned with fury. "You would take me gold?" he hissed. "Greed has a price." The leprechaun raised his hand, and a cold wind swept through the forest. The ground beneath them began to tremble. "You asked for too much," the leprechaun muttered. "You asked for the one thing I said you could not have. For this, ye shall pay." The world around Kieran twisted. His fine clothes turned to rags once more, and the money disappeared into thin air. The expression of sheer terror shone on his new love's face as she cracked and burst into millions of pieces, simply blowing away in the wind. As the leprechaun's voice echoed in the air, the words reached Kieran's ears. "You are now cursed to lose everything. Your wealth, your home, your love. You will walk the earth forever in Baal Namarb, the town of the dead." Kieran fell to his knees, but it was too late. Shadows and sorrow began to loom before him. The curse had taken hold, and Kieran, once a poor man who had wished for more, now found himself with nothing. The leprechaun's laughter echoed, and the man realized too late that greed had cost him everything. In the town of the dead, he would remain, forgotten and alone, for all eternity.